DMV to this live broadcast. Now, I know some of you guys may not be from Maryland, DC, and Virginia. As a matter of fact, we are currently streaming live all over the country. We are totally on about, I want to say, 6, maybe 5 different networks at the same time. We're right now currently going live on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Periscope. We are currently going live as well on Instagram. And did I mention we are also live streaming on Twitch? So I got a lot of information for you today. Today is beautiful in the DMV. So I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be on this broadcast right now. We are absolutely thrilled. And on behalf of my beautiful wife, Tammy Blair, the captain of edutainment, and the entire Real Deal Meetup Cruise, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, the question is, what are your questions of the day? That's what it's all about. It's about getting each and every question that you have about this beautiful business of real estate investing answered today in the amount of time span that we have in order to make it happen. But the first thing I want to know from you guys is, can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me get a like or get a yes, I can hear you, mad scientist. For those of you who don't know, I am Charles Blair, the mad scientist. So give me a like, give me a I can hear you, Charles, all that good stuff, so that we know that the sound is coming out loud and clear. Okay, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Bernadette, thank you. I'm glad you are on the broadcast. Michael, thank you. I am so glad you are on the broadcast. Tammy, thank you. I know you're at work, and I am glad that you are on the broadcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you can hear me loud and clear, give me a I can hear you, all that good stuff about being on the broadcast. Okay, thank you. On Instagram, we have my good friend, Rodney. Thank you, Rodney, for being on the broadcast. On YouTube, we have Greg on the broadcast. Everything real estate, just heard, can't hear you. Ooh, on YouTube, they're saying they can't hear us. Ooh, what's going on YouTube? Let's see if we can fix that problem. Okay, he just said I can hear you loud and clear. So everything looks good to go. We are looking good. Jason is loud and clear. So thank you guys for being on the broadcast. I appreciate everything on all these channels. Remember, today is all about you and getting your questions answered. So start it off. I want you guys to start thinking about, what questions do you have that need to be answered today on this broadcast? We're going to put them in loud. If I can answer them, I'm going to do my best in answering, because no one knows it all. So I'm going to give my best answers based on my 30 years of experience in the business. For those who don't know, my name is Charles Blair, the mad scientist. I've been a full-time investor now for over 30 years, actually about 31 years. Currently investing in 6 different markets, and this Q&A session is one of the ways in which I and my beautiful wife and my entire team give back to the community. So I love educating the DMV as well as nationwide. So let's go ahead and get the questions flowing. So all you have to do is just basically in the comment section, depending on which chat source you're listening to, write in the comment section your real estate questions. Minion, welcome to the broadcast, my friend. I greatly appreciate your support. If you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get these questions beginning. Okay, the first question I got came from Carl. And Carl really starts off with a real big one. Charles, what is your best marketing strategies? Now, I'll be honest with you. All the marketing strategies work for the most part. The only ones that don't work are the ones that are not targeted. So let's just go to the predicate that all marketing strategies work. Now, what's working the best for us this month? Because you got to measure all your marketing. I want to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Very important. Each and every month, you should be measuring all of your marketing results. You should have an ROI of exactly what the amount of calls that came through, how many people had a house to sell, how many appointments you set up, how many people you put under contract, how many people you close. So that's the first thing I want you to keep in mind. Always be measuring every aspect of your marketing business. Keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, I want everyone to understand that real estate investing is and will always be the key form for making millionaires in this country and around the world. It's one of the easiest ways to become wealthy in today's society. So going back to the question, what marketing strategies do I like? We have to take that to the point of online versus offline. Online, and I'm going to give you a couple of them because there's several. My online marketing strategies that I love and that is performing the best for my company and my team starts off with Facebook lead ads. I love a Facebook lead ad in conjunction with what we call retargeting. So that strategy has been very profitable for my team and I. We've been very successful in generating leads from Facebook, you doing actual Facebook lead ads and making the actual conversions of buying properties, as well as doing tenant placement. So we use that in our business for both of those marketing strategies. Another great one that we use online, I just mentioned or gave a little bit hit of it, is what we call Facebook retargeting, along with what we'd call a qualified list. And what I mean by that is you're able to upload your list into Facebook and create a marketing ad campaign that will go straight to that list. I want you to think about it. Think about this. You're able to take that list, upload it into Craigslist, and then send those individuals that's on that list your widget or your sales pitch about buying their property, about renting their property, about whatever business you're in. That is a huge plus. Now, in regards to offline marketing strategies, the number one strategy that is performing for us, believe it or not, is probate marketing. It's still outperforming. As a matter of fact, this strategy has performed the best for us in the last 2 months in a row. I think it's maybe 3 months in a row. And what I mean by that, we are doing probate marketing by way of cold calling in conjunction with direct mail. The combination of both. Number two, we've gotten a total of about 4 or 5 deals doing Craigslist scraping. So I love Craigslist scraping as another strategy for generating leads. And the good part about Craigslist scraping, it doesn't cost you anything other than an internet connection. And your scripts and whomever or whatever you're going to do, your ability to close those actual leads. With Craigslist scraping, we are generating leads by way of tenant placement, owner-structured finance deals, and rent-to-own guarantee rent deals. All coming from the one strategy of tenant placement from Craigslist scraping. So, there are many ways in which you can generate leads. And like I mentioned earlier when this first question came up from Carl, what strategies we're doing, all the strategies do work, but the key to generating the leads and converting is making sure that you are targeting. Great question, Carl. I think Ryan is on YouTube. Ryan asked the question, how much is your mentoring program? Ryan, I would love to talk all day long about my mentoring program, but This actual forum is for answering questions about real estate investing. I don't want to give a commercial about mentoring and all that good stuff. It's just my philosophy that I give the content away that I possibly can 100% free every time we're doing these actual events, and I don't want to make it a sales pitch. So if you want to find out more about my mentoring program, just head it on over to moremastermind.com. That's moremastermind.com. Fill in the application, and I'll give you all the information you want about it, Ryan. Hey, good morning, Krasha. Good morning, Beto. Thank you for being on the broadcast. Good morning again, Ryan. Thank you for being on the broadcast. Minion, I see you're on YouTube on the broadcast. Good morning. Let's see. On Instagram, we have, look like that's Steven on Instagram. Who else we have? We have Sell My House on Instagram right now. We have Val on Instagram right now. Good morning. Welcome to the broadcast. Please, at your earliest convenience, what I need you to do is go ahead and add those questions to the comment section below. I want to make sure I get to all of your questions today. All of them. Now, question number 2 came from Reynard. And this is a good one because I hear this question all the time from individuals that I speak with, individuals that send me emails when I go to different presentations. Always this question usually come up. And the question is real estate investing legal? Absolutely, real estate investing is legal. Can you dig it? And as a matter of fact,
can you dig it?
That's right, it's legal. So, now what makes it legal? Well, all across the country, it's written that if you have what's called an equitable interest in a property, and because of that equitable interest, you are in a position where you can market your equitable interest for a fee. And that's what we're talking about, marketing that equitable interest for a fee, hence the term wholesaling. So yes, absolutely, wholesaling is legal, and don't let anyone else tell you that it's not legal. Most of the time, people say something isn't legal because they don't know or they don't understand. That's one of the easiest ways, and I find that a lot, and excuse me for saying this to my realtors. I find that a lot from realtors who would tell people that it's not legal. And that's not because of any malice. It's really because that most of the time, they don't know. And when someone or people don't know something, they say you can't do it. So, great question in regards to is real estate investing legal? Gwen, welcome to the broadcast. Jason, welcome to the broadcast. Ryan asks, if 2 people want to buy an investment property, what is the best contract to use, or should we create an LLC together? I love that question, Ryan. I'm a firm believer in creating a joint venture agreement and an LLC as multi-member. So absolutely. And you should have what the actual distribution of the equity in that LLC should be. So absolutely, I believe in a 2-member LLC with the actual distribution rights as to how the actual asset is to be distributed once the property or the wholesale deals are sold. Great question, Ryan. Daniel asks, what is the best way when you assign the contract to protect your interests, and what should we put in it? Well, first of all, a contract is a legal and binding document. Great question, Daniel. The good part is, because it's a legal and binding document, you're protected. So what I'm trying to say is this, that the fact that you have it under a contract, you can actually take that person to court and sue them for any wrongdoing that is based off of the terms of that contract. Now, if you're trying to protect yourself from the seller, because you got 2 parties, the seller and the person who you may assign the deal to. So let me tell you this. Most often, if you're trying to protect yourself from the seller, more often than not, your contract is going to be more than enough to be done. In other words, On 90% of your deals, you don't have to worry about the seller backing out of your deal and selling it to someone else. So you're pretty much protected. But I want to tell you of a case that I actually had. It was a lawsuit that I actually filed against a seller who tried to back out of a contract. And it's pretty relevant to what we're talking about right now. That seller, let's call him Adam. Adam didn't like the fact that one of the parties in the actual deal, we were buying his property, and that's actually it was apartment buildings. There was a total of 25, 30 apartment buildings in downtown Baltimore. Purchase price was over $5.7 million. And Adam didn't like one of the partners in that deal, one of my partners. So once he found out that that partner, now Adam had already went under contract with us. Once he found out that that partner was a part of that deal, Adam wanted to back out of the contract. Now, this was a huge deal. Like I said, it was over $5.7 million. And the good part about that deal is that, man, we were looking to make millions once we rehab and sell the properties. Well, Adam tried to back out of the contract and we sued him. The process took almost 1 year and $100,000, close to $100,000, and we won. We actually won the case in court almost 1 year later. Now, you have to ask yourself, is it worth suing that seller? In my situation, the answer was yes. Why? Because the seller was an investor. So when you're dealing with equal ground, investor to investor, then there's a good chance that everything is going to be based on the legal standing of the case. However, if you're trying to sue a 60, 70-year-old lady who's trying to back out of her contract with you, guess what chances are, or guess what might happen? You might lose that case. And the reason why? Because you are considered the expert. And that layman, that little old lady, isn't. So when that situation occurs, you better believe that chances are you will have one strike against you in most instances when dealing with the judge. So be very careful when determining or deciding if you're going to sue because of a non-performance of an actual contract. If you're dealing with an equal plane, meaning an investor to another investor, absolutely you can go right ahead and sue. But if you're dealing with a homeowner, that is a tricky slope. And for me and my business, we would not sue a homeowner who decides they want to back out of a deal. Great question. I really enjoyed that question, Daniel. Now, Keisha asks, when using hard money, do you recommend a 100% product? Keisha, very good question. Now, the answer to that question is going to be, it depends. Because depending on that 100% product is a basis of what does the points and what does the interest rate look like. If that 100% product allow you to do the deal and you still make the profit that you want to make, then absolutely you can perform with a 100% product for hard money. But if the numbers doesn't add up, then no. You may have to go in another route where you have to put 10 or 20% down because the numbers on that 100% product doesn't allow you to make a profit. And that's the key to our business, making a profit. Thank you, Keisha, for that question. Let's see what else we got coming on. On Instagram, we have a question from Minion. Let me just lean over and see what we got. Minion asks, what is your take on filing a memorandum on deals under contract? Now, that's a great question. Memorandum on deals is nothing more than giving public notice in the actual assessment office that there is another interest or another party involved in this transaction that must be notified if something occurs on this title. That's all the memorandum does. So yes, depending on the type of circumstance that you're going to put the memorandum in. For example, I don't use a memorandum for wholesale deals. It's just not worth it. But however, you may want to do it on a lease option, a rent to own, or a guaranteed rent strategy. So yes, absolutely, Minion. I think that a memorandum does have its place in real estate investing. It's just a matter of the right strategy. Great question. On Facebook, I got another question. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Rick, for being on the broadcast. Rose is on the broadcast. Oh, my goodness. It must be after 2 o'clock. Because I know being retired, you don't get up to after 2 o'clock, Rose. But thank you for being on the broadcast. Henry, thank you for being on the broadcast. Let's see, is there any other questions out there? We got a question from Janet. How much should I charge for my wholesale fee? Good question. Now, the wholesale fee generally is dependent upon how good the deal is. On average, you can expect anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 for Baltimore City, Baltimore County wholesale fees or more, depending on, once again, how good that deal is. Now, when you're dealing with properties in PG County, properties in Washington, D.C., we've paid out a $40,000 wholesale fee before because the deal was that good. So it's subject to how good the actual numbers are. And the key metric you want to decide on whether or not you want to charge X amount of dollars for a wholesale fee is going to be, will the rehabber make the profit they need to make? Because it's all about the rehabber making their profit. That's the key to that question. Is the rehabber going to still make the question, or should I say, make the profit they want to make? Now, guys, remember, put those questions out there. We are filled up on all the different networks. We got people tuning in from Facebook, people tuning in from YouTube, people tuning in from Instagram. We got people tuning in from Periscope, people tuning in from Twitch. Keep those questions coming. I love to do a brain dump of as much information as I can give you. Let's go back to, let's see, Facebook. Is there anything we missed question-wise? Facebook looks clear. Let's see. That's where you should assign. Daniel asks, which is one we already covered. If two people, all those look good. Rose, I'm glad you thought that was funny because you are funny, my girl. Let's see what else we got here. Val asks, can you refer a good title company? Absolutely, Val. Great title company that we work with is Brian Gormley. He's fantastic to work with. I'll put his telephone number. I believe it's Cornerstone Properties is his title company. I'll put his telephone number in the actual box. Also, Eagle Title, Canton Title, both of those are title companies that are real estate investor friendly. And that's the key to a good title company. You want someone that is real estate investor friendly. So all of those title companies are great. As I get through this broadcast, I will definitely put their contact information here in the Instagram chat box and make sure you guys get it. I'm going to give you guys a couple pieces of information. First and foremost, don't forget about this weekend's Real Deal meetup event at the BWI Hilton. I'm going to be talking about how to bookmark your business to flip, to wholesale, to rehab, and to do contract tenant placement deals in your market today. It's called Bookmarketing Your REI Business for Success. This Saturday at 9:30 a.m. at the BWI Hilton. Go to therealdealmeetup.com. That's TheRealDeal meetup.com to put in your RSVP. It's 100% free. And unfortunately, we only have probably about 25 spots available because we've already booked over 180 people who are coming to that event so far. Also, Put a shout out for the Real Deal Meetup Cruise. It's our 5th annual cruise. It's going to be fantastic. Everybody is going to be on that cruise. Right now, we have a total of 40 cabins already sold. That means 80 real estate investors from across the country will be on the cruise. Head on over to realdealmeetupcruise.com. That's realdealmeetupcruise.com for more details. And welcome Lisa Jeffrey, the queen of interviewing, is on the broadcast as well. Thank you, Lisa, for tuning in on Facebook. I greatly appreciate the support. Give you a shout out. Hey guys, if you're getting some good information, I want you to give me some hearts, give me some likes, let the mad scientists know that you're digging what you're hearing right now. Come on. I know my voice just went up to a level that only dogs can hear, but I'm sorry about that. I get excited when I do this business. You understand? Damn! So, next question. How do you choose the hot market, or how do you know when a market is not hot? Okay. That's a good one. How do you choose a hot market? And that question came from Bito. Bito, there's a number of ways of choosing a hot market. I'm going to give you the easiest way. The easiest way to choose a hot market is this. One, you can basically get a real estate agent or a real estate professional in your area to actually give you a breakdown of all the property, or should I say all the zip codes, based on activity from individuals and investors who are purchasing properties with cash. Two, you get the second list from the same people for individuals that are first-time home buyers. The zip codes, that's what we're talking about. Zip codes of the highest amount of cash purchases, zip codes of the highest amount of first-time homeowner purchases. And you intertwine the two together and see where you have an overlap. That's one of the easiest ways to determine if you can or are in a hot or investing area where you can basically wholesale rehab your deals. That's the easiest way to do it. Now, a harder way to do it is just to look at something like data search, where you're able to check and see exactly what the actual, once again, sales are going on in a different market, also based on crime, also based on school districts and so on. I like the first because the first is what I call a hard number based on the data. I'm going where the investors are at. I'm going where the first-time home buyers are buying at. And I'm cross-checking the two zip codes, and I'm finding the best areas to invest in. That's how we do it here. Now, Handy Smart Fi asks, good morning, Charles. When reaching out to homeowners, what is your follow-up schedule? Great question, Handyman. Now, that question is going to give you one of the worst answers most people hate to hear. And that answer is, it depends. Now, why do I say it depends? Simple. Because in this environment, there are a number of ways in which you reach out to individuals. You can reach out to people by way of ringless voice message. You can reach out by follow-up by way of contacting or calling. You can reach out by text. You can reach out by direct mail. You can reach out by email. So how do I decide what's my follow-up schedule? I usually do it by way of the highest level of conversion. And here's what I like to call the best levels of conversion for you to close that property, for you to close that deal. Here's the highest level of conversion for that. Are you ready for the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
Okay, here we go. Number one, the best way to convert a customer or convert a seller is face to face. That's the reason why door knocking works. That's the reason why we go to the homeowner and we go and talk to the seller about buying their property. That's number one. Number two is a phone call, because next to door knocking, telemarketing, and speaking to the seller on the phone works. You're able to close that deal at a higher level than most will be able to. Number three, text message. Now, you're not closing them on a text message. All you're doing is propagating them to call you. Number 4 is going to be email. So your follow-up campaign should include those 4 along with direct mail. And let me flip-flop, because number 4 really should be direct mail. Number 5 should be email. So when you have those 5 follow-up traits in your marketing, you better believe you are reaching individuals in different situations through different modalities. That's your 1 through 5. So generally, in the first week of reaching out to someone for follow-up, we're going to use 3 of those until we reach that person. Until we actually get in touch with that person, we're going to either call them, we're going to either send them an email, we're going to send them a text, or we're going to send them a ringless voice message during the first week. Once we speak to that person, or let's say once that person says no, then our strategy changes. It changes to the point of figuring out what's the best way to reach them on a regular basis by way of follow-up. Now we're talking about once a month reaching out to them by either a phone call or by a direct mail piece. As a matter of fact, we use direct mail 4 times out of that 1 calendar year. Generally, every 3 to 4 months, we would send a letter to that person who we want to buy their property, if they've turned us down or if we're trying to reach them for the first time. The other times, we're going to be either reaching out to them by way of phone call, reaching out to them by way of knocking on their door, or reaching out to them by way of text or email. So my sequence is this. Once I reach the person, I'm going to call and or send a letter and or a ringless voicemail until I'm able to reach that person to get a yes. Remember this. 85% of your deals, that's 85% of your deals, will not be made on the first touch. So you have to have a strong, and I mean a strong, follow-up game. That's the only way you will be able to spend your days, months, and years in this business.
Can you dig it?
When you have that in place, now you are a transaction engineer. Brittany, welcome to the broadcast. Patrick, welcome to the broadcast. I appreciate you guys spending all your time this morning on this broadcast, on all these different channels. On Instagram, we have Easy Home Solutions. We have Minion. We have Val. We have Dynamic Homes on Instagram. Thank you guys for being on the broadcast. On YouTube, we have Handyman on the broadcast. We have Sandra on the broadcast. We have Lisa on the broadcast. Who else we got? On Periscope, we have Jerome on the broadcast, Michael on the broadcast. Man, it is getting hot in here. Next question come from Sandra. Good morning. My experience in buying pre-construction and flipping, looking for another way to invest in real estate. Which avenue do you recommend? I'm trying to understand your question, Sandra. My experience is buying pre-construction, looking for another way to invest in real estate. Which way do I, which strategy do I recommend for a beginner? One strategy that does not get a lot of airway, and that's because a lot of people don't understand and a lot of people don't know this strategy, and that's the guaranteed rent strategy. The guaranteed rent strategy is taken from commercial investing. The terminology is master leasing. Doing a master lease is when you take over a property and you wrap another number over top of that actual current rental amount or current amount that you plan on giving the seller. For example, if you agree to pay the seller who owns a property $900 a month, and then you sublease that property out for $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, $1,600 a month, that's what I'm talking about when I say master leasing. leasing with a right to sublease. That's a huge strategy, and it's something that we love in my business, my Chucky Buy Lucky Houses company. We love doing master leasing because it's a way for an investor who is new and an investor who doesn't have a lot of revenue to generate 400, 500, 600 per deal just by master leasing a property through rent to own. So that's a great strategy. I hope that answered your question, Sandra. Let's see what else we got. We have, let's see. Manny asks, what is considered a good deal? Now, that's a good question. There's a lot of variables that go into place when wondering, is something a good deal? And it's all about the profit that you want to make. Because for a wholesaler, a good deal could be a deal where they're making 3, 5, 10, 15,000. For a rehabber, it could be 30, 40, 50,000. For a buy and hold investor, it could be 200 extra cash flow, 300 extra cash flow, 400 extra cash flow per month. So that question is based on your definition of the profit that you want real estate investing to do for you. So that question is, well, I'm going to ask it and I'm going to throw it back at Mandy. Mandy, the question I want to ask you is, depending on the strategy that you're doing, wholesaling, there's a certain level of money that you can make doing wholesaling. You have to keep that in mind when you're actually determining what the actual price is going to be when you're going to sell out a property or you're going to assign a property out. Like I mentioned earlier, in Baltimore City, Baltimore County, you're looking at somewhere between $3,000 and $15,000 as your average wholesale fee, depending on how good the deal is. Other areas could be more. PG County could be $25,000, $50,000, $60,000. Washington, D.C. could be higher. So it depends on where you're at in that market and exactly what that market will do. Thank you. Keisha. Keisha got a long one here. Let's see. Keisha asks, let me expand the screen a little bit so we can get to Keisha's question. Keisha asks, I'm a realtor. I have an estate attorney referring properties to me to sell. There are many with small or no mortgages. Is it unethical for me to approach the seller as an investor? If so, what would be the best way to approach them? Great question. And the answer to that question is no. It's not unethical for you to approach that seller as the investor. However, you should also, and you must also, even based on your licensing, let that person know that you are also a licensed professional. You can only approach that person with one hat. In other words, Keisha, you can't approach that person wearing two hats. So you're going to either say, hey, I'm here to buy that property that you have, but I want to let you know that I am a licensed realtor and I am a licensed professional, but I'm wearing the hat of the investor to buy your house. Or I'm wearing the hat as the agent to actually list your property, and that's what I'm acting at in this deal. You can wear one hat or the other, but you can't wear both hats in that transaction. So to answer your question, absolutely not. It's not illegal for you as the agent to buy the property as an investor. You just have to give full disclosure. Great question, Keisha. Next question. How do you find deals when you don't have a lot of money? And a lot of times back in the day, we would call those deals guerrilla marketing strategies. What are some of the guerrilla marketing strategies, Charles, you can do when you don't have a lot of money? And it's great. Great question. And here's some of the strategies that we do. Keep in mind that guerrilla marketing strategies don't require a lot of money, but it requires time. So time has a figure next to it. Time is valuable. I'm going to say it again. Time is valuable. Is your time worth $5 an hour? $20 an hour? $50 an hour? So while we are doing the strategies that don't require a lot of money, they do require a lot of time depending on the strategy. Now, here's a few of them. Craigslist scraping is a great strategy. It's a strategy where you're actually calling individuals on Craigslist that have houses for sales, houses for rent, and you're going after those deals for opportunities to buy. Driving for dollars is a fantastic way to leverage the fact that you don't have a lot of money. Now, of course, you have to have money for gas, but in all things being equal, it's not a lot of money that you're participating in the actual process to find deals. That's a great way to do deals and find deals. Now, bandit signs also work, but let me preface it by saying bandit signs, depending on the jurisdiction you're in, is illegal. And bandit signs could cost you a lot of money if you get caught doing them wrong or get caught, period. So be very cognizant of that based on the laws in your jurisdiction of whether or not you should be doing bandit signs. Door hangers work. We also do strategies such as online postings. One of the biggest and most opportune time you can find deals is just by canvassing neighborhoods. Going through the neighborhoods, looking to individuals in those neighborhoods, knocking on doors and letting individuals know that you are buying 3 to 5, 7 houses in that neighborhood and you would love to buy a property in the neighborhood if they're interested in selling. These are all guerrilla marketing strategies that cost very little. Networking at different meetup groups. That way you have an opportunity to joint venture with individuals as well as networking with individuals in regards to finding opportunities, finding individuals that are house hunters that can go out and find deals for you. One of the biggest strategies that we use is using other people marketing. So all of those ways are ways in which you can find deals with little or no money associated. Now, Tom, welcome to the broadcast. Ernie, welcome to the broadcast. Josh, welcome to the broadcast. Steve LeRae of LeRae Insurance. Hey, I'm going to give you guys a big plug. If you are looking to find the best insurance company here in Maryland DMV to work with for your properties, regardless of what situation you're in, give LeRae Insurance a holler out. My man Steve LeRae works with us, and he is the real deal. Jason Conway, welcome to the broadcast. Rodman, welcome to the broadcast. Mr. Matthew, Rosetta Armstead again, Brittany again, Josh again. Next question comes from, let's see. God asks, can you purchase a house sub 2 with little or no money down? Can you purchase a house subject to, and this question comes from YouTube. Can you purchase a house subject to with little or no money down? The answer to the question is absolutely you can purchase a house subject to. Now, keep this in mind. Technically, the right way to do subject twos is illegal. And here's what I mean. I believe it was in 1978, Congress passed what's called the Garn, and I could be wrong in the date, but they passed a law which called the Garn-Saint-Germain Act. And the Garn-Saint-Germain Act states this: you as a homeowner is able to put your property in a trust for estate purposes. Now, how the subject to works is that you as the investor is having that seller put the property in a trust, and then you are actually being assigned the beneficiary interest of that trust and then making the payments and so on. So the answer to your question is, yes, you can do subject to. Now, regarding little or no money, that's a matter of how you're structuring the deal. So yes, you can get in with little or no money. But what I would warn against is doing a subject to for a long period of time. And here's the reason why. Anything could happen with that party, meaning that seller. Because remember, the seller name is still on the actual property, it's still on the mortgage. So anything could happen with that deal, that with that seller, that could attach to that property and mess up your deal. So yes, you can do subject to with little or no money down. But the way that we do them, we only do subject twos that we plan on holding for no more than 3 to 6 months so we can get in and out and sell. That's the way we do our subject to deals. Okay, we're coming up on 15 minutes left, 17 minutes left in this Q&A session. So please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to type them in the comment section, depending on the platform you are listening at or watching at, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, or Instagram and Twitch. Type those actual questions in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to answering them. Let's see what else we got. Question comes from Greg. Do I need to work with a real estate agent in order to do real estate deals? And Greg, the answer to that question is not necessarily. And here's the reason why I say that. Because depending on the deal, if you're dealing with a homeowner, the only aspect of an agent that you may need in that deal is just for comps. However, there's software out there you can use that can even generate the comps for you. So the answer to the question is, it depends on the type of deal. If the deal is a listed property, then 9 times out of 10, yes, you're going to have to work with a real estate agent in order to put it under contract using their documentation and so on. If you're dealing with Joe Smo homeowner, someone offline, then the only opportunity, or should the only time you have to worry about that contract, Greg, is when you're dealing with a situation, or when you're dealing with a situation of pulling the comps for that property. If you don't have access to comps, you want to get the best comps available. Either you're going to get that from an agent or you're going to get that from some type of service to use for comps and so on. So no, you do not necessarily need to have an actual agent involved in the deal in order to work with individuals in this business. Great question, my friend. Now, let's see what else we got. Rodney, I don't see any new questions there, my friend. Let's check the Facebook watch, see if we got any new questions on Facebook. Looks good on Facebook. Remember, guys, we got another 10 minutes to go. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type them in the actual comment section below. We are on. Jason asks, what documentation do you carry with you when you meet a motivated seller? Jason, you are crushing it with the questions today, my friend. Here's the documentation we have with us. We have our contract, our normal 3-page contract. I also have my option agreement. I also carry along with me my credibility kit. And I'm also going to carry along with me any types of comps, any types of facts that I have to bring to prove the actual determination I'm trying to make with that seller. So this is what I call my credibility kit when I'm dealing with a seller. Now, you're going to also have in your credibility kit, though you're not going to most of the time, at any time, use it with the seller, but you're going to have your assignment contracts as well. And I'm also going to carry along my trusty real estate pocket calculator. So, of course, you got your cell phone as well. That's not actually a piece of document, but your cell phone is there to take pictures. So these are the things I'm going to take with me when I'm actually going to that seller home and I'm actually, talking to that seller and get the deal closed. Because remember, when you're at that seller home, you want to close it. You don't want to wait anymore. You don't want to go back and say, I got to figure this out. I got to go to talk to somebody. You want to have all your paperwork in place so that you can close that deal right then and there. Because if you don't, something usually happens. And what happens? That seller will either get cold feet or that seller is shopping that deal around and there's a good opportunity that you're going to lose it. That's a fact, my friend. Kay asks, how do you do lease options correctly? And what are the problem if the seller changes their mind after selling? Let me tackle the second part first. Excuse me. I need to get some tea. How do you tackle the problem if the seller decides they want to back out of it? Well, just like any other situation, you have a contract. It's a contractual obligation. So you could sue that individual if the seller decides they want to back out of it. It's a contract. Now, how do we handle it? I think the key point that you want to do when you're doing a lease option is that you want to separate, and here's the key. You want to separate the purchase, option, and rental agreements. Not make them all on one document. Because when you put them all on one document, it can be construed as what's called a land installment contract. Which means instead of evicting the person who doesn't perform, in this case, we're going to say the actual rent-to-own buyer decides they don't want to perform. Instead of having the ability to evict them, if you put them all on one document, now you have to foreclose on that individual. And that, my friend, can be costly. So the most important thing you should have, Kay, in your process is to separate your documents when it comes to the lease option strategy. Great question. Let's see what else we got. Calvin, welcome to the broadcast. Annie, welcome to the broadcast. Hey guys, tell me, if this is some good information, if you're really liking this information, do you want me to continue to do these Q&A sessions? In the comment section, just say, yes, Charles, I would love for you to continue to comment. I'd love for you to continue the Q&A sessions. Or give me some hearts, give me some likes, give me some wows in that comment section, in that actual Facebook post, in those actual YouTube comments. Let me know, do you want me to continue these Q&A sessions on a regular basis? Because I love talking real estate. My baby is actually listening on, oh my God, my love is out there, Tammy Blair. I love you, girl. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the likes. Appreciate all the questions. We have a total of 10 minutes to go, and I have more questions for you. I got more questions to answer. So tell me, what else is out there? Don't make me close the ranks early, but let me give you guys a little bit of information that's coming up right now. I also want to tell you guys about next week's Real Meals and Deals event. Next week, Real Meals and Deals event is going to be at Ida B Table. It's our free networking event, although we call it Learn and Dine event. It's going to be at Ida B Table, located at 235 Holiday Street, beginning at 6:30 p.m. next Wednesday. It's always the first Wednesday of the month. So head on over to Ida B Table on 6:30. Head on over to our meetup group. You'll be able to see the details. We're going to have a fantastic topic that I'm going to be interviewing a young lady who's actually doing assisted living. She's one of the best or largest assisted living companies in here in Maryland, and she is crushing it in assisted living. So definitely tune in next week at the Ida B Table, along with myself, my wife, and Corey Brown. Will be there at Ida B Table. Don't forget, Real Deal Meetup Cruise. We've got that going on, and we have some information for you guys on the cruise. Go to realdealmeetupcruise.com. That's realdealmeetupcruise.com for all your information about the cruise. Let's see, what else do we have? Do we have any more questions? Going once. I think I covered them all. I wanted to make sure I had everyone covered. Facebook looks clear. YouTube looks clear. Instagram looks clear. Let's see. Rodney is there. Everything looks clear. I gave the title company. Minion looks good. That one was answered. Can you explain sub 2? We got that one covered. Man, an hour went by so quickly. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being on this broadcast today. I will be doing these live sessions again. So please listen out for the emails. Check your emails, check the Facebook posts, check all the different details that I'll be putting out regarding these live Q&A sessions. We got a couple of big meetings that will be coming soon. One will be our Real Women of Wealth workshop. That's going to be coming real soon. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, every year for my birthday, I put out a huge bonus giveaway. I'm calling this one my big fat asset giveaway. And no, I didn't say that wrong word. So don't even think I said the wrong word because I didn't say it. But it's going to be called my big fat asset giveaway. And I'm going to give you that live broadcast on May the 24th. That's when my birthday is. And we're going to give you guys, it's almost going to like you having a birthday on my birthday. That's how big these bonuses my wife and I have in store for you guys. With that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. I love you guys for all of your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my wife's heart. Knuckleheads, you go ahead, go do what you got to do today. I'm out of here.